भूयः प्रत्यभिधास्यति अस्राक्षीत् भगवान् विश्वं गुणमय्यात्ममायया तया संस्थापयति एथ भूयः प्रत्यभिधास्यति. Cause to create Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead,
Hare Krishna
Vishwam, the universe, Gunamaya, endowed with three modes of material nature, Atma, self, Mayaya, by the potency, Taya, by her, Samstapayati, maintains, Etat, all these, Bhuyaha, then again, Pratyapidasyati, conversely dissolves also. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada. Translation: by His self-sheltered potency of the three modes of material nature, the Lord has caused the creation of this universe. By her, He maintains the creation and conversely dissolves it again and again. Please repeat. By His self-sheltered potency of the three modes of material nature, the Lord has caused the creation of this universe. By her, He maintains the creation and conversely dissolves it again and again. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This cosmic universe is created by the Lord for those living entities who are carried away by the illusory thought of becoming one with Him by imitation. The three modes of material nature are for the further bewilderment of the conditioned souls. The conditioned living entity, bewildered by the illusory energy, considers himself a part of the material creation due to forgetfulness of his spiritual identity, and thus he becomes entangled in material activities life after life. This material world is not for the purpose of the Lord Himself, but is for the conditioned souls who wanted to be controllers due to misuse of their God-gifted minute independence. Thus the conditioned souls are subjected to repeated birth and death. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these are part of the further inquiries of Vidura from his spiritual master Maitreya. So here Vidura is explaining that Asrakshid Bhagavan Vishwam. This universe is created by Bhagavan, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Gunamayatma Mayaya. He created this through one of the Mayas, one of the potencies of the Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord has many potencies. He is having unlimited potencies. And those potencies are achintya. That means they are inconceivable for a tiny living entity like us. They look very miraculous or sometimes unbelievable. These are the potencies of the Supreme Lord. So, as a person, he has the capacity, unlimited capacity, unlimited potent, and he also has innumerable potencies. When he lifted Govardhan, he personally, his personal capacity. So here, he is creating the universe through Gunamayatma Mayaya. Through one of his potencies called Maya, or the material energy. The material nature that we see all around us is manifested by this potency. And what is the nature of this potency? Gunamaya. It is having three inbuilt divisions. What are they? There are three gunas: the Satuguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So it is Gunamayatma Mayaya. This potency has these three divisions. And Taya Samstapayati, and through the same energy he maintains not only creation. This universe is not only created by him, but he maintains it. And Bhuyaha Pratyapit Dasyati, he dissolves it. And he does it again and again. Bhuyaha, again and again. So, Vidura is actually summarizing an ancient question in everybody's mind. What is that? How is this world, this universe created, and how is it going on? So it is a question of big research for many scientists. How is this? We are living in some established system. We all came here, already some things are in place, and we live for some time, and then we have to die, leaving behind this system again. So the question is, who kept this system going on? It is always a question that everybody has. And Prabhupada also mentions in the first canto of Bhagavatam, particularly in this summer season, many of us would like to go to the terrace and sleep. After crossing the daytime scorching heat, we all want to go to the terraces and then sleep there. So as a child, when somebody tries to sleep like that, then obviously he will look at the stars, he will look at the moon. There's something going on. So any intelligent mind, an inquisitive mind, they will ask, what are all these arrangements? What are these stars? What are these moon? What is this moon? What is this sun? What is this going on? They are also apparently moving, sometimes visible, sometimes not visible. Okay, so those questions, they're all valid questions. Any intelligent person, because he is seeing, is directly seeing. So whatever we see, they try to understand what this phenomena is. And part of that questioning is, they want to know Asrakshit, Bhagavan Vishwam, how this universe is created. So, Bhagavatam, of course, in this verse, in one line, it is mentioned that Bhagavan, it is created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God created this universe. This is Bhagavatam's conclusion. Since Vidura is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, he knows that Lord has created. And so the question is, Krishna, he also looks like an ordinary human being, 2 hands, 2 legs. How is it that he can create such big Vishwam? It is so many times bigger than an individual person. Because we have an experience, we also create, we are able to create when, small things. How is it specially Krishna is able to create such big Vishwam? That is explained here, Gunamayaya Maya. That is because he has got an inconceivable potency. Through his energy, he is creating, maintaining and dissolving the universal creations that we see all around us. So, of course, we will see in the further shlokas how exactly he creates using his material energy. But it is sufficient to know that universe is created by God. It is not by some big bang. It is not an accidental happening that the universe is come into force. There is a planned execution. There is a systematic design and planning by an individual personality, that is personality of Godhead. So now, why is this universe created which is so miserable? This material world is so miserable. Why Krishna has created such a miserable world? This is the second question. So Prabhupada is answering here. This cosmic universe is created by the Lord for those living entities who are carried away by the illusory thought of becoming one with Him by imitation. So why this miserable world is created? Because some jivas wanted it. They wanted to imitate Krishna, the Supreme Lord's activity. It's like a living entity wants to play father-mother role. Like in Telugu chapter kada, Amma Nanata. So when the jivas decided to imitate the father, they say, we want to play, give us some facility, they demand. And what will the father do? The father will create a tiny toy house, a toy town, and such small things he creates for the child, and the child will become part of that little game, absorbed in those activities, remembering what father does, imitates all those, what those mother does. And there's one little baby will be there, she will be imitating, cooking in the little stove, cooking in the, it's all fake, it's not the real thing. But then that's the environment God has given for us. We also want to imitate Krishna, we also want to imitate our mother. So a tiny a imitation world is been created. So this is created because living entities wanted it. They want to play this game. So that's why this world has been created. And but Krishna's creation is so perfect. Once created, this energy automatically further creates and maintains and dissolves. Appears to be running automatically. Appears to be going on automatically. If there is any adjustment required, suddenly somebody will be propped up, and then he will create a big wave in a certain direction. For example, nowadays, I saw one video. Young man, 21 years old, looks like he's already a big billionaire. Of course, everybody is interested how quickly one can become a billionaire. So, yeah, somehow he has become billionaire. So they started interviewing. So how did you do this? Anyway, I think his karma is good. Some crypto business, something he has done, and very quickly has become billionaire. Huge amounts he has got. So then this interviewer is asking, see, you're so young, now you got many billions of dollars with you, what will you do? Now this boy looks to be little sattvic. He's not saying, I want to acquire islands, I want to acquire some, big aristocratic boat, ships. Nowadays they own ships and they feel, this is mine, this is their. They acquire ships, they acquire big things. So they asked, are you going to do all these things? He said, no. He said, I want to, every year I want to give, he said something like some $200 million or something like that, very big amount. He said, I want to give that money for protecting the climate. The climate is deteriorating. Environment, climate, people are worried. What is this climate problem? Very simple. There is a theory that the planet is heating up. The temperatures are growing. It's heating up. So this is a climate issue. Now if the climate becomes hot, then what is the danger? Then all the ice melts away suddenly. Then the oceans will rise and they submerge the cities. There is one theory that by 2040, Mumbai may get submerged. In India, that means millions will become homeless. So it's a big problem, what to do? Now why the planet is heating up? They figured out that is because, there's something called carbon dioxide is increasing. Whatever they figured out. And why it is increasing? Because your vehicles, this petrol based, diesel based, when you use that diesel, petrol and all that ACs, then they release certain gases, carbon dioxide and all those things. They go and block the environment, and there is some phenomena, and then it heats up. So if the humans don't use these vehicles and this and that, industries, vehicles, all those things, then you mean to say the climate will improve? The climate scientist says, yes. If you don't do any of those things, if you reduce traveling by petrol cars or diesel cars, or reduce these industries, pollution, all those things, then automatically it will all reduce. So there used to be two groups, they used to fight. One is for climate, so minimizing all these things. They encourage you go for sustainable energy. That's why everybody is into solar. Now battery operated cars, it's all going to come. Because they saw that the climate is deteriorating. It's going to create a dangerous thing. One more result of this climate change is that very massive floods, unusual floods, in areas where they never thought there will be rain. Unusual floods. So Hyderabad has witnessed the last season, unusual. Everything is flooded. So this fierce cyclones and the water levels increasing in the ocean, all the ice is gone. Imagine all Himalayas melts away. One flash flood will come and then everything gets washed away, and that's all. After that there will be a big period where there is no water. Now what is happening? Himalayas will slowly melt, feeds into Ganges. So many rivers come from there, Yamuna, Ganga, they all come. So it becomes perennial. The rivers are perennial, nicely, wonderfully they are flowing and catering to the needs of all the human beings. But then now suddenly let us everything melts off in one shot, in one of the season. Summer is very harsh, let us say, melts off. You will see suddenly there is a flooding. Everybody washes off, and then after some time there is nothing to melt again. It takes time for it to again. So it's all going to be drought, no water. So the system is disturbed. So this is called climate problem. And people used to fight, no, it's all simply some theory. One of the American presidents said, this all we cannot believe. And then whatever the previous government is trying to do to save the climate, is there nothing doing, and then he reversed it. He allowed the coal mines to operate and everything normal. Sri Radha Govinda. So this boy said, I want to invest billions in this to protect the climate, save the climate. Now the climate scientists have got one edge to prove their case. They got an example to prove their case. What is that example? During COVID, everybody has announced lockdown, particularly India. It has locked down the entire country in the COVID-1. As soon as they have locked down for a few months, continuously, all industries are closed, no vehicles, all human beings are stuck up in the houses, and nobody can travel. There is no airplanes running, trains, and this, and so much of movement. It's all stopped. Industries have stopped. You saw, no? Then they found that air pollution is coming down. Delhi is no more toxic. One devotee has sent one video from Vrindavan. It shows about Yamuna water. And he's saying, you can see Yamuna, what is there in the bottom. It is so clear. Water is so clear. Now if you go, you cannot see what is there. It's all muddy. So much of contamination. So now the climate people have got an example to prove. See, all of you stopped all your activities, you stopped traveling, air pollution is reduced, water pollution reduced. Many things have improved. So this shows that what we are saying is correct. Human activity and nature's response are connected. Now they are realizing. Human activity, that means what activities we do on a day-to-day basis, have got an impact on the material nature. How material nature responds, there is an impact. See? Actually it is a fact. Our activity, if it is not in line with the material nature, there will be an impact. You will see things changing. You may call it as climate change, but it's actually material nature is planning. It is creating a reaction on the human society. The demigods have created some things. They're all busy creating all these things. And we are recognizing, okay, something is changing here, something is changing there. Something is going to happen. Human being is capable of recognizing like that. Oh, this is how nature is changing, so we have to be careful. This will happen, that will happen. But material nature is capable of propping up some people and ensure that some maintenance happens. Let us say too much destruction happened. Material nature is capable of creating maintenance also. How? Like this boy. He has got billions of dollars. Now he will say, I am going to be a champion of the climate, he will say. And he will pump in billions of dollars into it. Automatically there will be some balancing, maintenance will happen. Right? He will invest on, he is saying, I want to stop all the animal killing. Not because they have some great compassion on animals, they realize that if you kill animals, it is going to affect the climate again. There are so many research papers. They connect meat eating industry and the climate and environmental issues. There are established papers. Even if you don't want to believe Shastra, there are established papers are there, connecting all this thing. So he is saying, I am going to pump a lot of money and save all these species. So many species are getting extinct. There is one Western man, he is saying, my goal of life, my entire life I want to dedicate to protect that sparrow. Sparrows are becoming extinct. So he said, yes, I will work for this. Why? A sparrow has something to do in the environment, to protect, to maintain. So all jivas, they are part of this nature, so they are absorbed in these three activities: creation, maintenance and dissolution. They are absorbed. If somebody is absorbed in maintaining, then he is called Sattva-guna. He has got an impetus from Sattva-guna to, like this boy, little Sattvic boy, he is not saying, I am going to drink, I am going to have this, I am going to have that. He is not saying that, I am going to invest in this. So material nature knows, automatically it maintains, it props up some heroes. Those heroes will fight for certain causes and maintenance will happen. And then dissolution, ultimately everybody has to die. There will be devastating pandemics. They will come and kill off millions. Going on. Creation is happening, maintenance is happening, destruction is happening. So this world, these three activities are very prominent. So jiva, when it becomes too much absorbed in these three activities only, creating matter, creating material forms, buildings, cars, gadgets, so many creations. And then some people are absorbed in maintenance, plant trees, dig wells, revive wells, protect climate, don't kill the animals. So that is Sattva-guna. And some people are driven by destruction. One country will announce war, and one more country like yesterday Russia has announced a war with one more country, neighboring country, it's called Ukraine. There is a war going on. So they are also driven by nature, but a different type of a force. That is called ignorance. We will see those forces very clearly in the next verse. So like that, living entities are simply absorbed in creation, maintenance and destruction. So that's why these three modes are called dust. What is the dust which is covering our chitta, the mirror of our heart, the mirror of our mind? It is covered by dust, it says. Many places you hear Cheto Dharpanam Arjanam. Right? When we chant this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Now it is mentioned that it cleanses the dust on the mirror. Now what is this dust? The dust is nothing but these three modes. Activities in these three modes: creation, maintenance and destruction. Particularly the most difficult creative force is the lust, the sexual appeal. So when the mind is absorbed in these three, so then that is the dust that is accumulated on the mirror. And because of that, the jivas are continuously thinking only in terms of these three: creation, maintenance, destruction. Everybody is struggling very hard in order to maintain himself. It's called struggle for existence. So there is the thinking in that direction. So a man has got all these three roles. When they are absorbed like this, absorbed in the activities of this tiny imitation world, that means the jiva is completely entangled. That's why Prabhupada is saying conditioned souls are subjected to repeated birth and death. He has no other idea, simply thinking in terms of these three. This is called influence of the three modes, this is what is piling up in the heart. As long as that dust is there, he has to go through this repeated birth and death. At the time of death, there will be something very prominent, either creation or maintenance or destruction will be prominent in his heart, and then he will accordingly take a birth. He will be blessed with certain body, and then he will take up that cause in the next life. He will be given an opportunity. He could be a very big destructor, invent some atom bomb and finish off some thousands. He will become instrument in Maya's hand in destroying millions. Somebody may become instrument in the Maya's hand to maintain, and somebody may be a wonderful creator, puts up a lot of new philosophy and then create a big cult. Like communism, thisism, thatism, they'll come up with various theories, mobilize masses and create a new kind of a civilization. All these dramas will go on in this world. Material world means you continuously see some new things coming up. They exist for some time, then they dwindle, they'll go away, they get destroyed. This is this nature. Any questions? Yeah.
Now our world is globalized. Anything which happens in any part of the world affects some other part very distant. Now this Russia-Ukraine war has started. Actually 80% of India's sunflower oil imports are from these two countries together. This, it's going to increase. Now this globalization has started. Actually what particular mode is influencing the people to go to this globalization, exporting, import?
Yeah. So now this Russia and Ukraine war, the immediate thing that has happened is the petrol and diesel costs have gone up in the international market. So you will see suddenly some 6-7 rupees jump, per liter, something will go up. So once petrol and diesel goes up, then the next thing that happens is the vegetable prices and all the other pulses, grains, everything goes up. Why? Because, for example, Hyderabad, let us say you want to get Chakrakirli banana. It is available in Vijayawada. And so one banana, it has to come from Vijayawada, some 5-6 hours of travel. It has to reach here and then from there, further distance. So can you believe the cities are built up in such a way, you want some one banana, you have to get it from Vijayawada. Forget about it, there are some fruits which come from outside the country. They travel millions of miles and then they reach here. This is how our civilization is. So that's what he is saying. Globalization means, yes, you can sit here and you can enjoy a fruit which is grown in Afghanistan, but how long? Afghanistan is good for pomegranate. Let us say you can get very nice pomegranate, but then it has to travel millions. Now Afghanistan is occupied by Taliban in one more previous war. Now whether you will get it or not, we don't know. So artificially we have built up a lot of man-made civilization. Passion and ignorance combinance. What is ignorance? You are unable to see the consequences of what you are doing. If you don't calculate the consequences, then it is ignorance. But there is a creation also. Yeah, they have created a worldwide, a global market, a global situation. For example, few months back, in the Suez Canal, one big ship got stuck. It is carrying a lot of goods from Asia to America. So it is going in the canal. And suddenly some wind came, tuck, it got turned, and then it is so huge, it blocked the kalva. And then because it blocked the entire canal, all the other ships which are going behind, they all piled up. For miles together they piled up. Now the other side, they are not getting the supplies. This side, they are not getting their business. Everything is stuck. And it is estimated billions and billions of dollars. They gone in, the losses are involved. Why? One little wind. One little wind, it has closed the entire, and this is globalization. Globalization is very dangerous. You see nature. In the nature, you will see they localized, some varieties of fruits, varieties of vegetables, and for that environment, for that scenario, they're all very suitable to you. You grow, you eat. That was the system. India was like that. Britishers came and said, oh, you're all, backward. You see how we will connect entire nation. So they globalized it. So that's the scenario today. Otherwise, economies, existences are very much decentralized. Simple. There is centralization, there is decentralization. Both the models are there in the nature. For example, demigod is there sitting, entire universal function he will be handling. So there is some globalization is there. And there is also decentralization. Both the systems have to be balanced. It should be balanced. Not that, to get one banana you have to run 6 hours, get that banana from there. No, there should be decentralized and centralized combinations. For example, you can have railways, you can have airlines, so that you can go and see Lord's abodes. For example, if somebody wants to visit Muktinath, one of the Divya Deshams of, which are there in Nepal, the only way is you can fly. There's one place, from there you have to take a chopper. You will land up in some close Muktinath, some little that helipad is there. You have to get down there and then go and see the Darshan. Of course, other route is also, you have to do a lot of trekking. It's all Himalayan, hilly region. You have to trek and finally you have to reach. It's not possible. So, some globalization is useful. What you are unable to see previously, now you can see very easily. For example, Char Dham. Long ago, if somebody is going for Char Dham, the children, they all used to think, okay, now he is not going to come back. First of all, whether he will reach or not, nobody knows. Even if he reaches, then again he cannot come back. So they used to see them off. That's all. It's like, now it is not like that. So we are having Char Dham trips. You can go and come back. You can come back from Char Dham. So this is the... so these things are okay. But not with respect to food. Food should be localized. Eat very healthy food in the local area. Telangana and in some of the parts there are millets. In childhood we used to eat all these millets. Ragi, jawar, all those things. Jonna, all those things. So where are all those? We're imitating and getting some... of course nowadays people are not cooking also. They take one McDonald's or KFC and this and that. So the life has become very complicated. So it's a passion and ignorance which is driving them to look for control. Ultimately, there will be a competition who wants to control the entire world, the entire world's resources. This control, that's why they want to centralize. It's easy to control. One person presses one button, everything boom, 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 and it happens. They want that kind of a control. So there is a theory that this pandemic was created by such supremos to control the population of the world. Once you come to a certain stage, you have a lot of power, then the next thing is you want to control what is happening in the world. They may not want many people to exist because they are seeing that there is a shortage coming up. Recently there is a shortage of chips to produce mobiles and all that. There is a chip shortage. Some few there was some problem with the shortage. This chip shortage will only increase. And there is a coal shortage. It is only going to increase. Coals, because how much you can dig? Singareni, all those things is digging. Every day you need 15 million tons. The world needs. Where will you get such coal? Coal is going to be a problem. And chips are not coming out. And like that there will be shortages. And when will you say a civilization collapsed? When that grid fails. Now there is a centralized grid through which you get your electricity. Moment grid fails, that's all. You will see there will be a big chaos in the society. Everybody is dependent on electricity or this petrol and all these things. And as soon as there is a grid failure, finish. For example, evening. Let us say today we are all there, 7 o'clock, there is no power. Not that you can wait for 1 or 2 days. They say, government may say, let us say there is next 1 month there is no power. Now 6 o'clock onwards you have to survive. Now vehicles, petrol, diesel, all these things are already over. That's why grid is not running. They're already over. That's why grid failures means what? There is no power generating mechanisms. Then what will you do? That's why Prabhupada said you should have self-sustainable communities. Even if there is no grid, you should be able to survive. Castor oil lamps. Actually for devotees is very easy. Let us say by evening we will light up all the temple hall with diyas, castor oil, this and that. Like Shainarati of Narasimha, Radha Govinda also will have the same Shainarati, lamps. And we can have artis. And then after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we sleep. And then morning we can get up along with the sun. Anyway, we are doing all this. For us, it's not a big deal. Outsiders, they sleep by 1 in the night. They get up by 10. And then they have their own. So, a lot of electricity is required to maintain that night life. Night life is an artificial life. So now to maintain that life, you need a lot of power generating companies running to produce those lights. See what a civilization we have created. Whereas in villages, the other day somebody was telling me, they sleep by 7:38. They have their dinner by 6 o'clock. By 7:38, 7 they will saying, "Arey, close, switch off the lights. You are disturbing," because there is a modern, boy. He went to the village. He is active at 7:38. He is becoming active. You will go up to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and the old grandmother, grandfather are saying, see, switch off, switch off. So this is actually the life. We have created an artificial civilization, lot of issues, lot of pollution. Now we have to see. Unless people recognize all this, there will be a big chaos. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.